Compound interest. Now, these type of questions appear in every single IB Maths Studies exam period, either in Paper 1 or Paper 2, or potentially in both. So they're very common types of questions. And the key to handling these questions is to understand the formula and do plenty of practice questions. So let's talk through the formula first. And it's in your formula book. However, I'll talk through the individual parts. It's presented as future value, so the time in the future when your bank account is going to hopefully go up due to investing in some sort of investment account, is equal to the initial amount, which is called PV, that's known as present value, multiplied by 1 plus annual interest rate, divided by 100 times K. And I'm going to talk about K in a second, because K is probably the most complicated part. All to the power of K times N. So let's just recap. Future value is equal to, FV is equal to the future value, so some time in the future. PV is equal to our initial value. Now it stands for present value. However, I think it's easier to remember this as initial investment amount. Initial amount. Our R is our annual interest rate. Now, the interest rate given in questions will always be in an annual form, and you shouldn't be manipulating that form. Let's say if it does say it compounds monthly or quarterly, this R in the equation is always the annual amount. So, for example, if it was 5%, always put 5 as a percentage, so don't change this to a decimal, into the formula. K is our number of compounding periods per year. So number, this is an important point, this number of compounding periods per year. Now the question will either say this account compounds either monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, or annually. It's usually one of those 4 scenarios. So for example, in this practice question on the right, this says compounding monthly. Now there are 12 months in a year, so in this case our K will equal 12. If it said quarterly, our K would equal 4 because there are 4 quarters in a year. If it was semi-annually, our K would equal 2, and if it was annually, our K would equal 1. And N is an easy one. N is just the number of years that the investment was compounding for. And if we have a look at this example question on the right-hand side, we'll talk through what the equivalent values are just for this example. So Emily deposits $2,000. So our initial value, PV, is $2,000. The bank pays an annual interest rate of 4%, so R is 4. And like we previously talked about, our K, number of compounding periods per year, is 12 because it compounds monthly. And now the question asks, find the amount of money that Emily will have in her bank account after 5 years. So N will equal 5, and the future value is what we don't know. And I'll present that as a question mark. And we would need to solve to obtain the future value. Now, not every question we need to solve for the future value. Sometimes it's a little bit more difficult. Maybe they give the future value and you need to find the interest rate, or give the future value and need to find the initial value. And the best way to get comfortable at that is to do plenty of practice questions, but that all relies on being comfortable with the terms in the compound interest formula. So good luck. Head over to the question bank section, try the questions there, and have plenty of practice applying this compound interest formula.